At around 4 o'clock yesterday evening, I was scrolling through Twitter and the Twitter account Wario64 shared a leaked image of an Amazon page, an Amazon UK page, I believe, for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword on Switch. If you don't know, and you're just happening by my channel right now, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword is my favorite Legend of Zelda game by far. I love the Legend of Zelda series, and I've loved most of the games that I've played. In fact, I think every one of the games I've played, I found something that I love dearly about them. But Skyward Sword is just one of those games that impacted me emotionally on so many levels. So when I saw this, I was pretty euphoric about it, and I tried to share my experience and what I felt about it as quickly and as succinctly as I could, and of course, it was just probably just me spewing things out of my mouth. I love Skyward Sword, and possibly to an annoying degree for most people, because I post about it a lot, and I think about it a lot, and I talk about it a lot. It is one of my favorite games of all time. In fact, it ranks number 11 in my top 20 games of all time, which you can probably find somewhere, but that list has changed, that's on my channel anyway. But this game, to me, is beautiful. And of course, there are people that don't like this game. Of course, I heard all the criticisms of this game before I even played it. But I tried to play the game when I originally played it back in 2017 without any hang-ups about the game going into it, without any idea of what I was going to be getting into before going into it, because I wanted to make my own opinion on this game before I played it, and I wanted to give it a chance, like I do with most games. Of course, it's okay also to not like this game just as much as I love it. I have a friend who does not like this game at all, really has so many gripes about it, but I don't think any less of him. Yes, it's one of my favorite games of all time, but video game discourse shouldn't really be like that. I love my friend, and he's one of my closest friends all the same, regardless of how much he doesn't like this game. It's the same thing for a game like The Evil Within, one of my favorite horror games of all time, but again, my friend hates this game. But you know what? That's okay, because I love her all the same. So, brief history of me and The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I first played this game back in 2017 and loved it to death. And it's really impacted me emotionally. I've cried I don't know how many times during this game, and I've played through this game twice on my channel, once blind and once in a return to the sky, as I like to call it. And it looks like I'm going to be having to play this game a third time on the channel if this comes out on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm really hoping that it does. But today, all the stuff that I love about this series aside, which I love a whole hell of a lot of it. I love the character growth in the game, I love the dialogue, I love the story, I love the love story that's kind of put throughout the game as well. I love how the facial expressions impact and improve every single scene in this game as well, and I love how eccentric and interesting the bad guys are in this game too, and how cool the boss battles are. I could go on a list forever. In fact, I'm gonna link a video below that is me talking about how much I love this game, so I don't just go on and on about the same stuff that I've been talking about for the past 3 or 4 years. Today, I'm going to be talking about the stuff that I would want and the stuff that I would not want in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. Of course, you can tell me the stuff that you would like to be changed, and even if you disagree with me, you can tell me that below as well. So this first thing is probably going to ruffle a lot of feathers, and that is that I hope that motion controls are still a thing in this game. Don't get me wrong, the ideal thing for this game would be to have a choice. People who don't like motion controls can use analog sticks and choose the direction where they want their sword to go and their character to go, while I, and so many other people that love motion controls in this game, can still play the motion controls as well. For me, so much of this game is motion controls. It is everything almost in this game, down to puzzle solving, to dowsing, to sword fighting, to basic movement in a way as using with the nunchuck. I know you can change that easily as well, but like there's so much of this game that's motion control that it's going to take a whole overhaul of this game to make it not be motion control. And of course, I think that it could be done. I think there could be a choice in between both of these things. I know a lot of people don't like motion controls, and that's perfectly fine, but for me, I love them. The up-close nature of the combat and how you have to swing your sword with your wrist back and forth or up or down, choosing the right angle with every single enemy that you fight and every single boss that you fight, making complete sure that you don't get caught off guard. It can have some of the best fights in the Legend of Zelda series, in my personal opinion, and I don't really want to lose that. I personally don't want to lose that at all. Now, of course, if this game comes out without motion controls, I'm not going to be a big whiny baby about it and go, where's my motion controls? I'm going to play it anyway and give it the best shot that it deserves. It's my favorite Zelda game, so of course I'm going to give it the best shot it deserves. But for me personally, I would love there to be motion controls in this game. But also, on the side of that, I want something ugly and goofy and funky to come with it. I want Nintendo to sell a limited edition version of this game where they give you just this ugly Wii remote holder. And I say ugly because why not? And like, there's this eyesore of a thing that they put you put your like Joy-Con into, and you put the other one into like another part of a Joy-Con, or you could just use the other Joy-Con, I don't know. And like, then you have like this Wii remote kind of function for the gyro controls as well. I kind of want that in The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I would pay for that. Nintendo, you want to sell me that? Sell me it. Please, sell me it. Now, we don't know really anything about this, but if it is an overhaul or if it is a remake, then I would like them to really keep the art style intact. And not just the art style, but the way that they design their characters and the way they design most things in this game. I would like them to keep that intact because it looks like a gorgeous painting every second of the game. And I don't want to lose that. I really don't want to lose that either when it comes to this game. It's one of my favorite aspects of it. Sometimes, of course, it can look a little bit jarring, but I think that for the most part, it's just this beautifully looking game. Even on the Wii, and I play it on the Wii U personally, it is just constantly, like, eye-catching. I know that this is something that they will probably update, and they will up-res this, and of course they will make this look really great. I have faith in Nintendo when it comes to making this remake, or if it is a remake. Of course, if it's a remaster, then I don't have too much of an issue. Then I don't really, like, I think they'll just make it look sharper and clearer and make the resolution a bit higher, make the textures a little bit more clear, and then that would be perfectly okay with me, 100%. Of course, as I always say, if they remake this and they change the art style, which I don't think they would, the old one's always there. So I'm not gonna throw a tantrum. Like I said before, I'm not gonna throw a tantrum. I'm gonna give the game a shot as well. But I just would really love to see the original art style, but just in a more beautiful and high-res version. I think it'd be pretty freaking gorgeous, especially with the character designs as well. They're so distinct to that world. I think that it could really, really work. On the same vein of this, I think remastered music would be really cool, but don't change it. I don't think the music needs to be changed. I think the music is perfectly placed throughout this game. They know when to key in certain points or certain music into certain scenes to make you feel that emotion very quickly. And it hits really freaking hard. Fai's Farewell, The Ballad of the Goddess, please, like all these songs that need to be in this game as well. I think that's the best thing for this game. I think an important question that people are going to be asking over the next while is, should this game add content? Or should this game take away content? Should this game take away some of the gratitude crystal quests? Should this game take away this or that, or some of the more tedious aspects of this? And here's the thing, I'm kind of like leaving that up in the air for myself. There's a few things that I'd like to change, like how every time you boot up the game and you pick up an item, it tells you what that item does again, for some reason. It just does that every single time. And I think that's a weird kind of bug, but like I'd love to see them fix that in the newer version of this game. Another thing that like I've seen a lot of people talk about is Fi interrupting you too much. People are gonna call my bullshit on this, and that's okay, dudes, whatever. Like, I never got annoyed by Fi. Never once. And I'm the same thing, like it's just like the same thing with Fi is like I just never got annoyed by her. Like even when she pops up in the corner or you hear the noise out of the Wii remote, like I was too busy like in the game and being in the zone to actually be like annoyed by her. And I love Fi. I love Fi to death. Anyone who's seen the last part of my Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword playthrough will know how much I love the characters in this game. And I urge everyone who hasn't seen it, if you want to check that out as well. So if they do want to add content to the game or change content or take away content, as long as they don't change the story completely, I'm totally excited to see what that is. I love remakes and I love changes to game. I love remasters. I love seeing what games can do with future versions and with the benefit of hindsight. We've seen that many times with games that I love, like Persona 4 Golden, where you look back on the older game and you go, well, how can we tweak this to make it that bit better for people? And of course, some people will disagree that it's not better, and that's always going to be the case. But for me, I'm kind of going to leave that up in the air, see what they want to do, see what they do, and we'll see when the game comes out. This is me asking Nintendo to sell me more stuff. Sell me Skyward Sword amiibos. Like, all of them. I want a Groose amiibo. I want a Granny amiibo. I want an Instructor Olden amiibo. I want a Headmaster amiibo. I want a Pumpkin amiibo. I want everything. I want an everything amiibo. I want everything in this game. I don't even buy amiibos for the most part. I bought the, you probably see in the background somewhere there, I bought the Wolf Link amiibo, and I just pre-ordered the Hero and Joker amiibo. But like, I'll buy all of these. Sell me stuff, Nintendo. Sell me stuff. Apart from all of that stuff that I said, I want to be honest here and just say that if this is a thing, I'm excited, and whether they want to change all the stuff that I love or don't change all the stuff that I love, I'm just excited to see what could happen with this game. I'm going to play it regardless, and I want to see exactly what they do regardless. This has my favorite of most things, the Legend of Zelda series. I think anyone who is subscribed to this channel knows how much I love this game, and I talk about this game. And I really, really feel good right now. This leak, even if it's fake, it's given me hope. It's given me something. I think that it deserves to be remastered and tweaked a little bit. I think that it could really benefit from it. I can't really say much else other than, what do you guys think? Do you think this is going to be a good remaster? Do you think it's going to be bad? What is your opinion on this? For me, I know it's too early to say, but this is one of my favorite games of all time, so that's why I wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about it. I think that a lot of times on the internet, and I'm not saying anything about people can have their own opinions, like I said, but I think a lot of times people who hate games and people who don't like games or haven't finished them really want games that people love to be changed drastically to the point that they're no longer the games that they were before. And I understand that people want games to be more applicable to them and more pliable to them and more favorable to them. I would like that too. But it's like, it would be like someone coming up to me as a Shenmue fan and saying, hey, I would like it to be more streamlined. And it's like, that goes against the point. And the same thing with something, if I went up to a Silent Hill fan, which I love Silent Hill, but if I went up to a like die-hard Silent Hill fan and said, I'd love there to be less psychological horror and less cramped hallways, they would tell me you were missing the point. The same thing with the Yakuza series. If I say I would love there to be less goofy side quests, I as a Yakuza fan would be like, what are you talking about? It would be like going up to someone who really loves a TV show and telling them I would like this aspect to be changed, while millions of people love that TV show. Really, at that point, I kind of think that like it's like I don't really see the point in that. If you didn't like something or didn't want to finish something or really hated something, I think that thing is just not for you, and I think that there's other games to play. There's plenty of games I don't like, but I would never want them to change just for me. And that's all I'll say on this, guys, because I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys are too. I'm sorry for making a video on something that there's nothing other than a picture on, but I really wanted to talk about this. I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Love ya.